the Trump administration waging a war on expertise? From trashing the intelligence community's Russia analysis to specialists at the State Department and scientists dealing with climate change. Since Donald Trump took office, a disturbing pattern has unfolded at the EPA, firing half the members of its scientific advisory board. And in other departments, certain civil servants have been forcibly reassigned, like Joel Clement, the former director of the Interior Department's Office of Policy Analysis, who was summarily moved to the Accounting Department after publicly speaking out about the effects of climate change on Native American communities. And he joins me now from New York. Mr. Clement, welcome to the program. Is that why you were moved? Is it got anything to do with your professional competence, or is it because you just spoke out publicly on this issue?
I was reassigned, I believe, in retaliation for the work that I was doing to address the health and safety risks that climate change presents to the Alaska Native communities on the edge of a melting Arctic.
And just remind us exactly what you were doing then and what you're doing right now.
So at the time, I was organizing the federal engagement with this issue. It's a very complicated issue, trying to bring these folks who live on very narrow spits of land, narrow spits of permafrost that is melting and no longer protected by the sea ice. So they're one big storm away from becoming refugees. That's what I was working on. Now I've been reassigned to that accounting office that collects royalty income from the oil and gas industries.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, it's kind of Orwellian, that. Royalties from the oil and gas industry. Okay, so why have you decided to go public?
Well, I'm blowing the whistle on the administration for retaliating against me. This is a matter of health and safety for these folks in the Arctic. Heaven forbid there's loss of life if a storm comes through this fall. So it's a very immediate need, and it is the responsibility of the federal government to engage. And honestly, it will be very difficult to solve the problem without direct engagement from Washington, D.C.
Let me just please put to you the administration's response. I mean, basically, they are saying that, senior executives are the highest paid employees in the federal government. They're saying that personnel moves among the senior executive service are being conducted to better serve the taxpayer and the department's operations. Do you buy that?
Yeah, the senior executive service is meant to be a mobile workforce. So when we sign up for that, we know that we could be moved. It is not, however, set up to be used for retaliation. So these involuntary reassignments are legitimate. They did several dozen of them at once, which raised a lot of eyebrows. But also mine, of course, is a pretty flagrant change of office. I go from having an office of 25 analysts and economists and scientists to being a senior advisor with a job title, but no duties and no staff.
So let us drill down on what's going on in the scientific community. And as I said, we're seeing it kind of all over the place. The idea of dismissing experts and going it alone, so to speak. We saw several months ago a massive march in Washington for science. From your perspective, what's happening? We see people being fired. We see people being reassigned. But what actual practical effect is that happening, or will it have, on the ground?
Well, we're seeing several effects already, and that's why I raised the plight of the Alaska Natives. Those villages are really one step away from refugee status. But also, what are the implications for the opioid crisis or national security, diplomacy, when you're removing the subject matter experts and the scientists so systematically in ongoing way from the agencies? It's troubling, and it's troubling to a lot of us that work in the civil service, and we are committed to the civil service. Subject matter experts and scientists really make it tick. So it's troubling. As an American, I'm very concerned because there are likely to be greater risks to the health and safety of Americans.
And I want to ask you, what is the mood inside the department? And just another extraordinary thing happened over the weekend. The department, I believe, was told by the White House to prevent senior experts from meeting with Facebook chief Mark Zuckerberg when he was visiting the Arctic area, the national park, that he wanted to go and check up on some of these issues that you're talking about. I mean, that sounds pretty extraordinary and somewhat petty.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to win any awards for nuance with these moves. It definitely has created a hostile work environment in the department. Everyone's looking over their shoulder, regardless of whether they're senior leaders or even lower level staff. It's very uncomfortable for people. And what I'm hoping is that they will look into their rights, find their voices, and raise those voices, because we need to resist this type of hostile environment.
And then I just wondered what you felt in terms of the bigger picture. For instance, the climate change and the Accords, President Trump pulling the U.S. out of it. From what you're saying and from what you're observing, do you think there's any way the president will reverse that? And if he doesn't reverse pulling out, will he take the steps that make, the U.S. stop doing its part?
It is very difficult for me to speculate on that kind of thing. My focus has been climate change adaptation and resilience, because regardless of what happens and how you feel about the causes of climate change, even though we know that's all very real, there are effects right now happening, and there are vulnerable populations in place that we need to protect. So that's where I generally focus my energy. It's very difficult to speculate on what's going to happen next at the White House.
And just quickly, a chilling effect. Do others fear speaking out? And do you fear further retaliation from doing this interview, for instance?
Yeah, I don't know what to expect. I'll trust the investigation that the Office of Special Counsel will now conduct. I will say that it's been absolutely overwhelming and humbling, the response that I've gotten from not just around the country, but from other civil service folks in many agencies have been reaching out saying, hey, thanks. We feel inspired, empowered. We're glad to have someone out there with a voice right now.
Joel Clement, thank you very much indeed for joining us tonight.